that's that. We do have 2 super chats left.
Okay, good.
They are from
good.
Nino, the last
Please.
unicorn, and Drew Lombard, who both
Please.
just say, go to bed and sleep. We've got a super chat from SweeHost, who says, should WoW transition to a more action combat system with more AoE abilities like Wildstar, or Guild Wars, rather than good old tab targeting? So I'm going to say I'm happy with tab targeting. I think World of Warcraft is the one game that can successfully pull it off real good now. It just, tab targeting feels good. I mean, you do tab targeting in SWTOR, does not feel as good as WoW.
Yeah.
I think that's why those other games need to change it up and do something new and interesting. I think that WoW should stay as WoW is because it's what WoW players know they like, and also it's what works in the engine.
Yeah.
And I would be worried about trying anything too crazy ambitious in that engine.
I don't think it would work too well. I mean, think of it this way. How many times have you been pretty damn sure you weren't standing in an AoE?
Yeah.
Like, if that happens 0.1% of the time, that's okay if you're only doing it, 5-10 times a fight. But if that is reliant on every button you press and every button your enemy presses, then there's a lot more chance for things going wrong.
Yeah.
And that, especially if you do that for multiple abilities, that adds a bunch of usability and readability problems the whole way across the board, which is obviously a little bit of the I'm going to imagine Blizzard's problems kind of side of discussion, but it's like all that stuff is seriously important to think about. And I mean, well, FF14 does their AoEs right, but they're also a tab targeting game. But then it's also very non-immersive to see a big like 3 big arrows pointing in to denote a stack mechanic instead of a stack mechanic that's a nice circle spell effect colored to the right thing. So I think WoW should stay as WoW is because it works, and it works surprisingly well. Like it's one of the major reasons why I have brain spiders that's just World of Warcraft crawling around my brain at all times. Because wouldn't you love to just start? Wouldn't you love to just start playing a Fury Warrior, charge into something, hit some stuff? I'm like, absolutely. I love the feeling of that, and it's no game does it like that. And as much as Wildstar was cool, it was like,
I did find it so fun to play, but sadly didn't really work out that well.
Yep.
Question from Daniel M, who says, what's something Blizzard could do to help the game gain younger players? Young gamers don't like WoW and say, why play a 17-year-old game? Too old. I think that's an interesting thing. I think games like WoW inherently do hit a different demo. Our channel demos, actually, I can get our channel demographics up for you now. I'll be able to tell you what a WoW catchment is. So
WoW's a boomer game. Deal with it.
Quite a bit of that, yeah. So if I go to the audience section of YouTube here,
go for it.
So between who watches our channel of ages 13 to 17, 0.2%. People who watch our channel between ages 18 and 24, 13%.
Yeah, that's way lower than I even thought.
Between 25 and 34, 56%. I mean, like I'm 26.
Yeah, I'm 27.
You're 27, so we are actually in the younger age group of people who watch our channel.
Yeah.
So it's kind of wild. And then for the rest, between 35 and 44, that is 22%. And put it this way, right? Between 13 and 17 is 0.2%. Between 55 and 64 years old is 1.5%. There's almost 10 times more people between the ages of 55 and 64 watching our channel, so our WoW stuff, than there is 13 to 17-year-olds. And that just shows, I think, that WoW is a boomer game. And I don't even mean that in a derogatory way. The stuff that appeals to the sort of...
The more cultured people who have more time to mature.
Yes, I vastly prefer it to the stuff that is very targeted at the younger audience. Because I think they know that in a bunch of cases, I do not mean this in a derogatory way, this is stuff that obviously would have impacted me when I was that age. But the younger mind is more susceptible to stuff because, it's still forming. It's still growing. And I think that means that there's a bunch of scummy business tactics and, Skinner boxy shit that I just do not like in a bunch of games that are hit a bunch of that younger audience that don't seem to work as well.
The old Bing Bing Wahoo, the old Fortnite dancing music stuff, all the bright lights and flashy loot boxes.
Yes.
Like, can we just have the Barons? Can we have the Barons and some rock music, please?
Okay, so this can focus that on me, right?
Yep, go for it.
This incredible mug that Kevin on our games team got for me at Christmas. Which honestly, wow, incredible. But see this face of Mr. Rich Evans. This is specifically how Bing Bing Wahoo modern game things make me feel. I wouldn't want WoW to change, but I guess there's a lot of value in thinking how could WoW actually appeal, because what we should want is, for that younger audience to be like, hey, so this is the thing we did when we were younger and it was cool. Yeah. How could they do that?
Come on, son, I'll show you how the old 69 Corvette ran. Like, I don't know. Like, I don't know cars. But.
Yeah, because World of Warcraft has also had Azeroth choppers be made.
Yeah.
And I doubt 15-year-olds think, oh yeah, or Azeroth choppers, a bunch of old
bad,
old boomer beer drinking, rock and roll, metal loving dudes making big motorcycles. It's like, nah. I don't mean that as a derogatory thing, because society does serially undervalue the capabilities of younger people in general.
Yeah.
So I just don't know, other than, hey, this is World of Warcraft, it's really good, you can make friends here and have fun.
Yeah.
It's just that it's got to fight with games that maybe have more immediately grabbing gameplay. Because you play Destiny 2, you shoot up some dudes, and it feels great.
Yeah, it's that first second or first moment of going in there and being like, all right, you're in the Cosmodrome, wherever you are, here's some here's a gun, shoot it, and you're like, core gameplay loop, super simple, super easy. It's pretty quick and easy to onboard people to those things. I think World of Warcraft massively suffers from an onboarding problem because it's never solved the new player issue. It's like FF suffers from the same thing of being impenetrable to new players, but their players are just so mental and the free trial's so insane. Just like, you're coming into this game and playing it, and there's nothing you can do to stop this. This is you've got 10 friends just throwing a rope around you and dragging you into the game. And World of Warcraft I think there's a player satisfaction element that's a bit down, because I would not recommend anyone try to play World of Warcraft now. But in Legion, I'd be like, come on in, boys, I'll show you the ropes, class.
Yeah.
Whereas I think that's there's a couple of things they could do to enable that or make it easier, which I think is kind of streamline a couple of things, make sure the focus is where it needs to be. But I think fundamentally they need to make the game so good and incentivize people to bring other people in, and then hopefully that just gets a bit of a younger going down the chain, hopefully. Not to say you should go around and be like, hello, 15-year-olds, come play World of Warcraft with me. But it's a case of, I think that it needs to enable some of that. But it's mostly...
I think that's what James Charles would do if he played World of Warcraft, from all I've heard on Twitter recently.
Yeah, so I think it's mostly UX stuff, I think, is most of it. Because, it's the same for basically any MMO. You log in, you're like, what the fuck is this? What is going on? Where's my buttons? What is this UI? Where am I supposed to go? What are my default controls? But then you open Fortnite and it's just like your eyes are immediately exploded with light, and it's like, here's a gun, go run around and shoot people, and then you can dance when you've shot them. Very good. It just needs to get the usability thing down, but it needs, because obviously, especially if you're looking at the 14, 15, 16-year-old market, there's a massive market there that's not actually interested in super childish flashing lights and colors. There's those, what teenagers are like when they think themselves more distinguished. But it does mean they'll be like, what's this boomer game that's actually feels nice to play, feels good. I've seen it on my dad's shelf or whatever. It's like, oh God.
Yeah, I wonder how many of WoW's young audience these days is totally just, oh, my dad played that game.
Yeah.
I mean, take like, Scott Johnson of the instance. Like, I don't know if any of his kids play WoW, but like, I mean, your dad's this lovely fellow, plays WoW, is really passionate about it. So that's obviously going to look appealing to you. And maybe that's where the younger catchment comes from. I really doubt that the organic growth for WoW is big in that younger audience.
Yeah, it needs to solve all those usability problems.
Yeah. Final super chat.
One more.
Final super chat
Only,
is from
It's only 20 past 12.
Bilbo Baggins, who said, from your talks with devs, do you sense an appetite for player housing yet? Seems like they were gun shy after the WoD Garrison problems. To which I would say, I have sensed nothing from them, and I also have barely ever talked to World of Warcraft developers. Like, anytime I've talked to a WoW dev, you've seen it because it's an interview. I have not went to a BlizzCon and been in a situation where I'd be drinking with WoW devs or anything like that. And, I do get a little bit of a sense that, I mean, I don't know. It's weird. I've always had great times with them, but I also know that, I mean, yeah, we've been a big thorn in their side. In some ways. I mean, they do the ending of the Nyalotha raid.
Yeah.
Our video on it gets 600 and something thousand views. So you can guarantee that a bunch of the WoW audience that actively plays saw that video, and it was us ripping them into little pieces. So, I don't spend that much time with WoW devs at all, and I kind of doubt that it would happen outside of a, I would love it if it could happen outside of a PR perspective, but I just think that, there'd be some things that are awkward, I guess. So I don't really know. I don't have a sense of that. I do agree with you, though, that they do seem gun shy about the whole thing. I mean, we've went into detail about why it's a no-brainer, but I mean,
I think this is it. I think they're completely right to be gun shy, because my reaction to them announcing it wouldn't be, oh yes, finally. My reaction would be, oh shit, oh no, how have they got this wrong? Some of that's my natural pessimism, but some of it's also kind of why I think they're shy about it, is because it's so difficult to do right. It would nearly be impossible.
How will they make it so systemic that it's not fun and makes you sad?
Yeah, that's kind of that would be my biggest fear, would be they will ruin it. But it's also like, man,
I mean, I'd be instantly excited, I will say.
Yeah, no,
sure.
I'd just be like, man, this is too difficult for their current iteration of them working on stuff when they're behind on expansions for a while and behind on patches. I'd rather them solve the fundamental problems, and then they can actually kind of go, okay, we've got time to build a big feature.
Yeah.
No, like, we're not putting out any fires. The community aren't screaming at us for having no content. They're like, thanks for the content. What's next? We go player housing. I think that would be perfect.
Yeah.
But
or if you listen to Dan Copping in chat, player nursing homes. That's it. The login, the actual way you log into WoW Classic is you log into World of Warcraft and you go into the nursing home, and that's where you sit down and play Classic.
I mean, hang on, this chair kind of rocks. I'm a little bit in there already.
Yeah, I mean, look, I'd love player housing. For me, like, if you could tell me that I could go to TBC, hello microphone. If you could tell me I could go to TBC raids and get a bunch of TBC shit for my house,
just break some Black Temple shit off the wall, bring it home, you like
that entire thing. If Transmog came out, and then in the next, especially in Mists of Pandaria, I felt when we got powerful enough to just really quite easily go back through a bunch of that old content and get our mogs, the amount of gameplay that drove. I think that player housing could do that, like, not to the moon, but it could do it massively.
It could do it massively, yeah.
And all they'd have to do is reuse those old toolkit or tile sets, old asset kits. And I think that, sure, something from TBC might look a bit jank, but a player would be self-selecting into having that, therefore they wouldn't mind it, and they probably would be getting that because of nostalgia, so they wouldn't mind that it's low poly versus the latest asset. So it's where I'd basically say, don't let perfect polish and all the assets looking whatever, don't let that be the enemy of us getting player housing. Yes, I'd say to Blizzard, it's a totem to your achievements as a player housing. It's a new way to reward players, and good God, you need more ways to reward players, because mounts, I think Blizzard must know mounts are getting boring. They need to do that. So That's that. We do have 2 super chats left.
Okay, good.
They are from
good.
Nino, the last
Please.
unicorn, and Drew Lombard, who both
Please.
just say, go to bed and sleep.
Thank you very much, everyone.
Thank you for your super
Yeah,
chats,
cheers.
and I think we will have to take your advice.
Yeah, then we'll have to walk through the battle-scarred streets of Belfast.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, cool. The streets are probably going to be wild when we get out of here. I mean, it's calmed down.
Yeah,
but
they will look wild due to the remnants.
Yes.
They won't actually be wild. We haven't heard anything in the past, like,
no,
45 minutes.
it's calmed down. Police have clearly
Yeah.
got it sorted.
No, it's after 11 p.m., so nowhere's allowed to serve them food, so they went home.
That's clearly it, yeah. All of the people doing it right were like, if it's too late for Deliveroo, it's too late for me. So,
Fair to them.
wow. Thank you for hanging, everybody.
Yeah,
We
thanks,
had a
everyone.
blast, and you know what? In 1.5 weeks' time, we'll get to do this, but we'll actually have cool new shit to talk about. Oh.
Yeah.
All right. Have a good evening.
Thank you
Go
very
the
much.
fuck to sleep.